Poppin' B. Perpock here, and welcome back to another episode of Race the Ramen, the show where I attempt to review something unscripted in the amount of time it takes to boil an instant ramen. And today we'll be taking a look at Marvel's Thunderbolts, asterisk, showing now in theaters. Alright, we're going to start the timer right now. Okay, so Marvel's Thunderbolts. Did anyone expect this to be good? I didn't. Truth be told, some of you probably know this if you've been following this channel for a while, but I'm not a huge Marvel guy. I don't dislike Marvel movies or superhero movies in general, comic books, any of that. It's just that, like a lot of people, I kind of hopped off the boat after Avengers Endgame, after, decades of movies, or like over a decade of movies led to this big event. And then everything since then has just kind of been like, either I don't care, or bad from what I've heard from other people. So I haven't been keeping a very close eye on the MCU, because to be frank, I just don't really care anymore. And even when I did care enough to be keeping up with stuff, I wasn't watching every single Marvel movie. And I'm especially not now, especially with all those TV shows and everything coming out. I didn't give a shit about Red Hulk movie, all this, okay? So you should all be pretty surprised that I'm looking at this movie in general, because I did not care about Thunderbolts. I don't think most people cared about Thunderbolts until it actually came out and word of mouth started getting around. This is actually a good movie. Not just like a decent Marvel movie or like another good Marvel movie, but like a good movie. Like I was seeing word of mouth and buzz from people who are not Marvel people, who are generally, the kind of critics or moviegoers that take themselves a bit seriously, you might say. Hoity-toity cinephiles like myself, and they were giving it generally positive praise, and I was like, okay, sure, why not? So I went in to Thunderbolts, just hoping to be pleasantly surprised, and you know what? I was. I'll elaborate on this, of course. Stick around for the rest of the review if you care to, but I'll just say now, Thunderbolts gets my seal of approval, because I am genuinely surprised by how good it is and how much I liked it. And another thing, I'm trying to avoid spoilers as much as I can, because this movie is especially kind of like plot driven, and I can't go into excessive detail without spoiling a lot. But just know some spoilers from here on out, so I can go over the basic outline of the story. To put it simply, Thunderbolts is kind of like if the original David Ayer directed Suicide Squad movie was good. Like, if it was literally a squad of people who were suicidal. Like, suck out all that garish color and flash you'd expect from that movie, or even from, like, the weakest MCU material, and, like, you get this. It feels so comparatively, like, small scale and grounded and based in like emotion and human conflict than most Marvel movies have been since this cinematic universe began in like 2007 or whatever. Like, I feel like I was like pleasantly transported back to like 5-10 years ago, when they could just kind of make a superhero movie about some people I had never heard of and didn't care about, and there's a chance that I and like loads of other people would go and see it. Like, I knew some of these characters going in. I've seen Black Widow, and I've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, believe it or not, so I knew some of these side characters. They're just all the cast-offs that are left after all the big people have left the MCU and after all these events have transpired. And they're just kind of drifting aimless in this, like, half-dead franchise. But that's not gone unexamined, because, for real, spoilers, again, the biggest clear theme I could pick out from this entire superhero movie was like suicidal depression and nihilism, and how you fight that through finding a purpose in life and making connections with others, because nobody can survive that kind of thing alone. Like, this felt like a James Gunn superhero movie, but with no James Gunn. It feels like Marvel and like the people involved on the project, like all these A24 talent people that they were advertising that they plucked up for this project. It seems like they actually had an idea for a story and like themes and visual motifs and blah blah blah, like, you know, things a movie would have with like a clear direction that wasn't just trying to set up more movies and sell more superhero crap would do. And you just get like this solid movie about all these D-list characters kind of like coming together and making something better than the sum of its parts. And you know what? It was good. I'd recommend Thunderbolts. Hopefully that gives you a decent impression of what I think of the movie. I will say, this is a weird one, because like, I don't know if I'm going to be like, oh, the MCU is so back, or I'm totally on board after this, but let me just say, I enjoyed this movie enough that I may watch it again because I just feel like watching it. And I can really say that about just so few Marvel movies, like less than I can count on one hand, and not even the one with like the extra finger dealy. Like, I don't hate Marvel, or I'll just say that again, but I don't care that much. So when they make me care with something like this, I am impressed. They managed to take all of these characters who are mostly like not huge name actors, none of them are really big superheroes, and most of them are from plot lines that are just dead or didn't even turn out that great. And they managed to make something like wholesome and inspiring and like, you know, entertaining and kind of thoughtful out of it. It's not like a mind-blowingly amazing movie, but even without comparing it to the generally mediocre output of the MCU for the last couple of years, this is a solid film, worth watching. And I can't remember the last time I had that just sort of basic, like no qualifiers attached kind of praise for a Marvel product. So, yeah, if you want to see a superhero movie that scales down the action and like the crazy superpower nonsense a bit, makes it more human, takes it down to like emotions. Like there's almost no one in here with superpowers, so for a while they're just building up the action of punching and surviving until it eventually builds up to a better complex climax that feels earned and not like just a big messy fight because we have to have one. I'm rambling now, but all these good things, all these little things that Thunderbolts does to distinguish itself pay out in the end. And again, without spoiling, there's a chance that we're going to see these characters again in more sequels somehow. And again, I'm not going to see every Marvel movie from now on because I don't feel like it. But hey, I might check in on this universe again, and you can thank the Thunderbolts for that. I give Thunderbolts, asterisk, a 7 out of 10. I feel pretty confident in that score. I don't think it would go up or down on rewatch. I have little problems with it, and I feel like certain things could have maybe been explored deeper. But for what this is, really solid, really good. I was just sitting there in the theater the whole time, like, intently watching, like, hey, this is like a cool story with, like, likable characters and, like, stuff going on and stuff. It's not just action schlock that's been re-edited 20,000 times. It only felt like it was re-edited 20 times. But for real. Disney makes a lot of mistakes, and these days they make a lot of bad movies. And Marvel makes a lot of mistakes too, and can make bad movies. This was not a mistake. This was not a bad movie. This might have been like a stroke of genius or luck, whatever led them to this. But the MCU has turned out a movie that I could actually call a good movie, that I would willingly rewatch of my own volition, unrelated to any of the other MCU crap around it. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out and you're interested, go for it. And it's much more of a real movie than Deadpool and Wolverine, which, you know, my opinion's kind of dropped on that movie, though I praised it a bit when it was new. It's just like, some of these movies are fun the first time you watch them, but like Thunderbolts is like a movie that I could watch again and not feel like I'm wasting my time or I've just seen it all before. So, write that down in your notes, Disney. Help let people take creative risks and like have ideas and like, you know, make stories out of them rather than just like another product that costs $200 million that's gonna just like flop and die and suck ass anyway. Fucking, yeah. Thunderbolts, good. Check it out.